Let's continue with question number 2. The function f is defined on the interval -5 to e inclusive. The graph of f, which is consists of 4 line segments, is shown in the figure above. Right now it's on the right side. And g is defined by this function. We have defined g of 0 and g of -5. So we know g of x equal to 2x plus the integral. So g of 0, we have to substitute 0 into x, so we get 2 times 0, and then plus -2 to 0 ft dt. So now this is going to be 0, and then -2 to 0 ft dt. This represents the area underneath the curve. So we're going to color the area underneath the curve to show you. So -2 to 0. So now over here, this part is going to be 2 unit, and this part is 1 unit. So base 1 and base 2. And then this part is going to be the height. So the height is going to be 2 unit. So now we're going to substitute into the formula of the trapezoid. So we get 2, 1, and times the height h equal 2. So now we simplify. So we get g of 0 equal to 3. Now next we're going to find g of -5. So we do substitution. And then here we get -10, and we found out that you get integral -2 to -5. This is not the right order for a interval. We had to do from left to right. -2 to -5 is not the correct order. So therefore we have to swap the order. So we use one of the property we learned. So we're going to swap that from -2 to -5 become -5 to -2. -5 to -2. So now this represents the area underneath the curve. This part, it represents the area underneath the curve. So we're going to color this part. So basically it's going to be the area of the triangle and the area of this triangle. So we have the first one that's below the x-axis. You're going to take a negative value, and this part are going to be above. They're going to take positive value. Okay, so now we are going to calculate the area. And you get -10 and plus negative. I'm going to put the calculation inside the bracket because this go together even though there are two triangle. So the first one, you will take negative value, so -1/2 times base times height. So you have the base will be 2 unit, 1, 2, and the height will be 4 unit. So times 2 times 4. This one over here is going to be 1 by 2. Base is 1 and the height is 2. So 1/2 times 1 times 2. So now we are going to have -10 plus negative, and this go together. So to simplify, you get -4 plus 1. So next step, just simplify. So we found the answer. G of -5 is -7. So we finished question number 2A. So now let's go to question. Okay, 2B. You define g prime of x in terms of f of x. Okay, so now you're going to have g of x equal to 2x plus. So we have to find the g prime of x. Okay, so you have the derivative of the 2x is 2, and then divide the derivative of the integral. So you have to substitute the x into the t. So you get f of x times the derivative of x is 1. You substitute, and then you find the derivative of the part that you just substitute. You find the derivative of the x. Subtract. So we substitute -2. And what's the derivative of -2? 0. Now we simplify. So you get 2 plus f of x. So if you can do in one step, then you do from here to here. Now you have to find g double prime of 4 and g double prime of negative 2. That means you have to find the g double prime of x. The derivative of 2 is 0. The derivative of f of x is f prime of x. So we get g double prime of x equal to f prime of x. Okay, so now we are ready to find the g double prime of 4. So g double prime of 4, we do substitution, it will f prime of 4. So over here, g double prime of 4, you get 1, 2, 3, 4. So this is f of x. Then you have to find the f prime of 4. That means the slope at the 4. So every point on this line segment has the same slope. So therefore, you are going to find the slope of the line segment, and then it will be equal to f prime of 4. So now we're going to use the endpoint, these two endpoints to calculate. So you get negative 3 minus 3, a minus 2. So I simplify, I get negative 1. So g double prime 4 is negative 1. Now I have to find g double prime negative 2. And you substitute in here, so it'll be f prime of negative 2. So now let's take a look at here, the graph. You get f prime of negative 2. So it should be the slope of the graph at negative 2. F of x, f prime negative 2, the slope at this graph. And you found out that you have a corner over here, the left-hand slope not equal to right-hand slope. So therefore, the slope does not exist at the negative 2. So it does not exist. Because f of x is not differentiable at x equal to negative 2. There is a corner at x equal to negative 2. So we finish question number 2b. So let's take a look at part C. Part C. On what interval, if any, if the graph g concave down, give a reason for your answer. The keyword with g concave down. So g is concave down when g double prime of x is negative, when the second derivative is negative. And then we got it from the previous part. G double prime of x equal to f prime of x. F prime of x is the slope of this graph. So now let's see what part the slope of the graph is negative. Positive slope, negative slope, positive slope, negative slope. So f prime of x is negative. Negative 2 to 0. 2 to 8. So g of x is concave down. On this 2 interval. So we finished question number 2c. Now let's take a look at 2b. The function h is given by h of x equal to g of x cubed plus 1. And find h prime 1, you need to find h prime 1. So you have to find h prime of x. So h of x equal to g of x cubed plus 1. So h prime of x equal to, this one you have outer function and inner function. So we have to use chain rule. Derivative of the outer function, and you keep this the same. And then multiply the derivative of the inner function, which is 3x squared. Derivative of the outer function times the derivative of the inner function. Now we're ready to substitute the value 1. So g prime, you get 1 cubed, so 1 plus 1. And 3 times 1 to the second power. I mean 3 times 1. So you're going to have g prime of 2 and times 3. So g prime of 2, so we have to use g prime of x. So from the previous part, we know that g prime of x is 2 plus f of x. So now g prime of 2 equal to 2 plus f of 2. So now you're going to find f of 2. You look at the graph. F of 2 is 3 because 2 comma 3. So now you get 2 plus 3 is 5. You go back over here. You get 5 times 3 equal 15. So we finished the question number 2.